Hello everyone, Miller Shooting Solutions here. I had an interesting situation happen to me this summer at a competition. I'm going to play the video through here at full speed, and then we're going to talk about what happened. Obviously, there's a sighting issue here if you looked at the title of this. So there's an unloaded start. I was fairly happy with the load. First shot was a miss, but I made it up pretty quick. Now, I suspect at this point right here, something is going on. And there it is. So, let's back that up and talk through this a little bit. So, I get into this first position. First shot was a miss. I realized it right away. I went back, made it up. The rest of them went well. I won for one all the steel. Came off this target very quickly. Came out of that next one. Now here, as you watch, I end up doing multiple shots. And if you look at the splash, like the first splash was obvious. It was high right. Then the second one was gone altogether because I think it went in the barrel, and the last one ended up striking it. But I actually think what ended up happening here is that both screws for my optics plate, the actual mounting plate, sheared off. I suspect that at least one of them had probably broken at that last position because the shots were all over the place. And I was calling decent shots. And I come into this position, and on my second target, right here. So if you notice, I'm backing out of position. I'm trying to save time, trying to be efficient. And here's my optic coming back, and it's about to punch me in the face. You can't hear the commentary at this point, but basically I was less than happy about what just happened. And in my CPL classes, I talk to people about time dilation, and I deal with that all the time when I'm shooting matches. I'm a fairly competitive person. But I suddenly had there were a lot of thoughts going through my head all at the exact same time in a very short period of time. But I actually at one point considered, well, I guess I need to stop shooting the stage because I am shooting a carry optics division and I no longer have an optic on my gun. So I wasn't even sure if the rules allowed me to continue to shoot. Again, I am very competitive, and I decided, you know what, I'm not a quitter. I'm gonna try and fight through this and finish up the stage. Now, unfortunately, because of all these different thoughts that are going through my head, my stage plan is no longer being run at the subconscious level, and it kind of took over at the conscious level. So when I get to this next position, and I'll actually finish up my shooting here. So at this point, I have no backup irons on my gun at all. There's if you can see in that image there, or even this image here. Try and zoom in for you. I have an empty spot in the back where my optics plate should be, and on the front I have a sight filler, it fills that hole where the front sight on the Glock goes, but it really isn't any type of sight at all. There's nothing on the rear of the gun for me to use it at all. So I go back now. I've already overrun this position. There's a piece of steel right back here. I didn't draw the box in a very good spot, but right back there in that area. And as you can see, I've already overrun the position. And this was my stage plan kind of fell apart on me. So I want to talk real quick about. Oops. Go away. About how I'm doing this. So this steel back here, that's about a 20-yard shot. Now what essentially I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to use the plane of the top of the slide. I'm trying to get that to a point where I don't actually see the length of the slide. I'm just seeing the flat plane of it, and I'm literally lining my sight up from side to side, centering it on the target, and that's how I'm actually finishing this stage here. We'll leave this zoomed in here for a moment. So I got that piece of steel in one shot. Now, if you watch this this target here that I'm aiming at, and you watch that splash in the dirt, the second shot, I'm shooting very precisely without any sights on my gun. I'm just slightly off the target, and I do end up catching it the third shot. And then this finishes playing out. So there's so many people, especially in the tactical community, where they talk about how it's absolutely necessary to have backup irons on your gun. Now, would it have been easier for me to finish the stage if I had backup irons? And here's the optic punching me in the face. Yeah, I'd say it probably would have been easier for me to finish the stage if I had backup irons. It probably would have been a little bit quicker even. I wasn't pulling the trigger and going from target to target quite as quickly as I would have, obviously, if I had some form of sighting system on my gun. But this is evidence, I guess if you want to call it that, of the fact that you can actually shoot a pistol without any sights on the gun at all and still be relatively effective with it. Now, I do think that all comes down, or a lot of that comes down to your level of training and whatnot. If you're somebody who only shoots maybe twice a year or something of that nature, you may struggle with that concept because you probably don't have a great index to begin with. And the consistency in the way that you present the gun and things of that nature may not be there. But if you have some level of training or you train fairly regularly, I do think it's entirely possible. Again, what happened here was both screws that hold the mounting plate to the gun actually sheared off. And I ended up working with the company, and we ended up getting that issue resolved. Haven't had it happen again. Hopefully it won't happen. But I just thought, interesting video. And again, I'll let it play out here again from the beginning so everybody can kind of see. Oops, I'm sorry, from the beginning. And when that optic came off and it hit me in the face, I was actually kind of confused because I didn't understand what happened. It all happened so quickly, and then it dawned on me, oh yeah, my optic just punched me in the face. This drop turner here, this was super fast. I did end up scoring 2 alpha on it. Anyway, if you guys have any feedback, post them up in the comments. It's entirely possible to do this stuff without any sights on your gun at all if you train properly. And interestingly enough, prior to this happening, I think it was maybe 2 weeks before this happened, because I do firearms instruction, I'd been experimenting with different methods of sighting in case my optic quit working, like the battery died or the dot disappeared or something of that nature. And I was using different techniques like centering the target inside of the glass with a proper index. That same thing that I did actually in this scenario, where using the top of the slide and just getting it in a flat plane. I also did that with the optic, using the top edge of the optic to where I would just see the leading edge and I wouldn't actually see the length of that top edge. And ultimately that's why I ended up using the slide in the manner that I did, because I found that I could actually shoot quite accurately that way. Again, if you have any questions, comments, post them up. Have a good day.